Today we have Mr. Joss Biggins, who is a 28-year-old professional money manager, digital nomad, writer, and athlete, and someone y'all know as the boy. Welcome back to Thinkspace. This time you're in the opposite chair. How does that feel?
Wow, full circle moment. Let's go. I'm hype. I'm so excited. I'm ecstatic. I'm electric. Let's go.
So what was life like the last time that you were doing Thinkspace?
Last time we were doing Thinkspace, when we were hanging out with you guys, we were in Vancouver. We were self-hire, was in a beautiful stage of growing and going into bigger studios. We were in the pandemic. 2020 was crazy for everybody. 2020 was a specifically challenging and big year for the self-hire family, the Dankmar family, and we were really growing at a really incredible rate. We were, I know behind closed doors, there were like some big contracts being landed and new clients and stuff like that. It was a really beautiful time. And then the pandemic hit full force and everything changed. And that's the last time really was a solo cast that I believe we recorded at the Dankmart location, actually. And so here we are in 2025. And things are way different, and I get to be in this beautiful position of introducing your new host and bringing us all into a new era of conversations and a new era of being passionately curious, and that's kind of fire, and I'm really excited about it.
Oh, I love that. I would love to know, okay, so it's 2020, pandemic hits, world is changing. Where is Joss in his life at that time?
Oh, okay, so you guys don't know this, but I'm in 2020, I'm at a certain point in my life where I have so much going on. There's so much good stuff happening. But for me, the vibe is starting to feel off, especially with the pandemic. It's kind of like you're at a party. I like to say this. You're at a party. It's like 12 o'clock. You know what I mean? You've been there since you've been there a couple hours. It's 12:01. You're like, I've had a really good time. I've seen everyone that I need to see, but things are getting a little bit weird. Mm-hmm. And that's how it felt with the pandemic. I was like, it was fall 2020. We went through the summertime. Everyone was just out. It was all good. And then things started really locking down in 2020. I'm like, this feels off. Mm-hmm. Kind of like when you're at a party and you're going like, everyone's starting to drink a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. I'm not really feeling comfortable with this. I think, hey, baby, let's go. Let's get up out of here. And so that's how I felt. Yeah. I was at the end of a 4 or 5 year relationship with a beautiful person that was coming to a close. And I was like, we need to get out of here because this feels weird. Mm-hmm. Fear was in the air. So I did the only thing that I really knew was I became very resourceful and was like, okay, where can we go? Where can we, if this time is about a health scare, how do we optimize for health? And to me, that just means going close to the equator. Mm-hmm. So I went as close as I knew at the time, which was Costa Rica, Nicaragua. And I got up out of there. And while everything was shutting the hell down, my world was opening the hell up. Mm-hmm. And there was no COVID in Nicaragua. There was no rules or regulations. Everything was very safe. The food was abundant. The water was incredible. The people were so warm, and everything was dirt cheap. Mm-hmm. And so while everyone's locked down back home, I'm collecting all my favorite people from Canada and the US going, hey guys, we got this 6-bedroom over here. You guys should come kick it with us and let's just work online. And that just started this time chamber era. For anyone that's ever watched Dragon Ball Z, is this, you go down to Nika and you focus on a skill, you focus on launching a product, you focus on something in business, you focus on something emotionally, whatever it is, and you can, because everything from a health standpoint is so optimized.
Explain that. How did you know that?
So for me, I think you always need to take care of your biology first and foremost. Always take care of your biology, then let's work into everything else. People say, oh, I'm stressed out, I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm that, this isn't going right at work. You handling your biology? Most of the time is no. In Nicaragua, it's so easy to handle your biology. What I mean by that is fantastic sun and sleep schedule, incredible air, incredible fruit, incredible ocean. It's a mixture of volcanic air and earth and mixing with the Pacific Ocean, of course, the Spanish culture down there, just as a baseline, your biology is going to be happy as hell.
And how did you know that? Like, how did you know that about Nicaragua? Where did that consciousness come from?
I mean,
did you just choose a place?
I just went, damn, like, where are things growing abundantly? Where is abundance?
And what does abundance mean to you at that time?
Abundance at this time means I want to see someone throw like a mango pit out on the side of the road, and I want to see a tree growing there in a month. You know what I mean? Or not a month, but a year. And that's what it is down there. Is there's so much life and death, so much life and death, so much life and death. And I'm like, if I'm optimizing for growth, I'm going there. Meanwhile, the world's like, yo, I can't do all this pandemic stuff. And so I'm in a position now where I'm down there and I go, great. It's cheap as hell. I'm with the homies. Everyone else is scared and locked down. I'm going into hyper expansion mode. I started training jiu-jitsu. I started learning Spanish. The business, my portfolio management business doubles, triples. And then I started getting into a position where I go, okay, the game now is it's not about networking. It's not about making money. It's about character development. So in 2020, Josh just goes into character development mode and starts making lore. And it's been so much fun.
Yeah. Okay. So it's character development mode. You're out there. You're expanding. You're growing. Something you said in there a few times was there's a lot of fear. Right? So how are you separating yourself from fear? If are the people around you in fear? Like, how are you having that separation, that consciousness to be like, yo, I'm not gonna subscribe to that?
Well, like, is it real? You know, you always have to ask yourself, like, is it real? Anxiety is such an interesting emotion. Fear is such an interesting emotion. Like, my whole life, I've always had to break things down to, like, what are the cold, hard facts? And what are the incentive structures behind the people that are creating the experience that I'm living in? And when I looked at that, I just thought, no, my wholehearted opinion on this was like, the fear around what's happening is not real.
Yeah.
There's a real thing happening right now, but the fear and the incentive structures around the organizations globally that exist were just like, I'm not aligned with those people and I don't believe in that fear. As a result of that, I'm not going to play by your rules because I don't need the safety that your rules provide. And because I don't need the safety that your rules provide, then I'm going to orientate completely different to this human experience. And so that's what the last 5 years have been about. Just going like, oh, that's cute that you need those like safety rails or whatever it is. And I respect that you need them. But like, I'm a seeker. I'm not a believer. Do you know what I mean? And so I spend my life seeking, and I'll seek in the darkness. I'll seek in the ocean. I'll seek in the jungle. I'll seek anywhere I need to seek. I feel that sense of safety within myself. And so I don't need to adhere to the fear. One of my most powerful experiences that I do very, very frequently is, some people following my social media will know, is like, I'll find my way up a really high tree.
I know. I call you Coconut Man.
I found my way up a really high tree. Whether that's a coconut, whether that's a palm tree, coconut tree, or whether that's like a coniferous tree back here. And I'll go high, high, high. And I will, a lot of these trees, they need pruning, and I'll start pruning, and I'll be just on a little bit of mushrooms. And I'm very afraid of heights. So I get to go into this full body reaction of fear, fully somatic fear. Wind shaking the thing, you know what I mean? I got a blade in my hand, I got a chainsaw, and I just get to sit in that fear so much. And that was the same feeling that I felt when I left Canada in 2020, and that's the same feeling I feel all of the time. But I've brought a lot of pleasure to that feeling. That feeling, that shit turns me on. You know what I mean? I
think that's a big key differentiator between people, is like, when you feel the fear, does it halt you? Does it stop you? Does it crush you? Like, even bringing it back to 2020 and how you're saying, like, a lot of that fear, it separated people, right? And so it's like, are you willing to feel it, explore it? What does that mean about me? Can I get through the other side? Am I going to die? No. You know what I mean?
It's a real thought, yeah.
It's a real thought, right? Because it's just like, it's all of your, it's your conditioned self that you have to come up against.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're there, you're expanding, it's character development time. I love that. That's actually something I started reading the Bible, and that's something I started learning through the Bible, is character development is so different than feeling like you need to go out there and see what can I try on versus who can I be. If I want X, what do I need to become to be X, to have X? So you figure out it's character development time. What are you developing for?
Fire segue. That shit was so smooth.
See why I took your job?
Suavemente. Ooh, I'm out the seat. They give me a 1-day contract. That's it. Sue's on salary. They give me a 1-day contract. Fuck. So I completely agree. Character development is absolutely critical. So I'm gonna give you the juicy juice. Super jugoso. So that happens 2020 to 2022. I'm with this girl. I'm feeling super good. All of my homies are around. Business is going good. I'm in the best shape of my life. The world is crumbling. I'm like, that sucks. Sorry for y'all. I'm chilling. I'm having the time of my life. It's May 2022. I'm with my girlfriend at the time. We're in Panama City. We start traveling a little bit. We could travel a little bit down there. We go to Panama City, super vibey city. Panama City is like the Miami of Central America. Like, it's big money, like flashy, like it's exuberance, right?
Yeah.
We go out. I get a nice spot. We're going to nice restaurants. That's the first time I go out of like the jungle in Nicaragua, really. And I start getting female attention for the first time in my life. My girlfriend at the time, she notices it and she starts playing with it. She's not like fearful with it. She starts playing with it. And so I'm at like, there's some financial abundance. There's some geographical abundance. We have great food. We're in a great spot. And like everything about that vibe was a luxury that I could accept, was a blessing that I could accept. My girlfriend at the time goes, hey, I just want you to know that everything that's coming for you, like in this city, in this experience and how we're traveling, whether that's locations or whether that's other women or whether that's like whatever, like I'm here to go through this whole experience with you. Like, let's do this whole thing in such a way that like really hit me to my core and was like, wow, I have a partner in this. Do you know what I mean? And like, she had great taste in food and this, that, the other. And I was like, wow, this is all available to me. It's available to me. And I did it my way. And I believe in myself and I'm proud of the person that I am. And oh my gosh, I can't believe all of this is available to me. She looks me in my eyes and goes, Joss, you're such a good man. And I appreciate you so much. And my world falls apart. I break in that moment. In that moment, everything that was just a second ago feeling so sweet and so expansive and so available to me cracked. The scene broke. We went out. We would go to these restaurants and go to these experiences, music, art, whatever, and I would just feel so empty.
Why?
I would get attention from her or from another woman, and it would be like a knife stabbing me. I would go, oh my gosh, like I can't deal with this. This is a visceral physical reaction. Like I don't want this, like this is not good. And I communicated that to her. I then I finished a big certification that I needed to take my business to the next level. It took me many years to get. We went back home to Canada. And I'm just off. I'm a robot. I don't exist. Like I have no emotion. I'm completely empty. I have no idea what's going on. I cannot put my finger on it. I'm like, I've arrived. Why can I not feel anything? In those moments, I'm communicating this to her the whole time. I'm communicating this to my friends and my family. I'm going, I don't really know what's going on with me. I should be in this like Navy SEAL type vibe. I should be in this like look at me, I've trained so much, I'm here in every way that I've ever wanted to be here. I'm here. I came back and I have a conversation with Steve Rio, friend of the pod, and I tell him the whole thing. You know, Steve's become a big mentor to me over the years, and we end up going back, and he brings me to Bowen and, you know, brings me through a psychedelic experience with his with this company and with this retreat and with this community out there that was really, really profound. After that happened, and that's a whole podcast in and of itself, very beautiful. I write about it a bunch. After that happened, I got to a spot where I realized there was a couple really fundamental holes in my spiritual being. What happened that night when she said, "You're such a good man," that broke because there was such a lack of connectedness or worthiness or humility to anything that had manifested itself in my physical reality. So I went, okay, I have to build.
Can you break that down more for somebody who cannot pick up what you just put down? The connectedness, right? So there is the external experience, and then there's the internal experience of worthiness. Let's just go there a little bit.
Everything in this physical 3D realm you are relating to. You have a choice in terms of how you're relating to. One of the best episode podcasts that we ever did was one with a gentleman named David Katz. And, he really went through and said, he really redefined what meaning was for me. That podcast changed my life. Please go check it out. Everything that we go through, everything that we come into contact with, we get to have a actual choice in terms of how are we going to relate to this? What story am I going to tell? What meaning am I going to make? I got to a point where all the meaning that I had made in my life broke, and I didn't believe it anymore. And my soul had moved on, but my brain couldn't figure that out. And
it
popped.
Yeah.
The bubble popped. Back to your character development question. I realized I needed to develop a couple things in my character. Number one, my ability to connect to myself, my physical environment, and the people around me. I'm an extrovert. I love to talk. Throw me in a mix. Connecting is different. Feeling someone is different. I wanted to feel the texture of people and actually connect with them.
So I'm going to pause you there. Feeling the texture of people and actually, because I think people up until that point would think that you are a connector. You're a super connector, right? So what's the difference between feeling the texture of somebody and then just being there?
I'm by my nature and by my trauma, I'm a connector because I'm finding safety. So I need to connect and find safety, find safety, make someone feel okay, make them laugh, make them giggle, make them feel attracted, whatever it is, to find safety. I want people to, when they go and connect with people, to sit in the boredom, to sit in the safety of sitting with another human, listening to another human, understanding the heartbeat of another human, and go, what is here? We talk about, in so many of these episodes over the years, we talk about meditation. And then you can take this to, well, yeah, there's sitting meditation, there's walking meditation, there's eating meditation. There's also talking meditation. And a great podcast is a talking meditation. I lacked the ability to open my heart to anyone and to actually, in the direct correlation to meditations is my ability to, when you're meditating, focus into the breath, and actually, can you focus on your breath for 10 seconds? Can you open your heart for 10 seconds? So in everything that I was doing, one person I was manipulating the other person, whoever it was, friend, romantic, whatever, manipulating them to open their heart and pour. And I would give the illusion that I was receiving that, but my internal experience that nothing was received. And so to me, there's a different texture in terms of, are we conversating? Are we connecting? Or is someone giving and another receiving, and someone giving and another receiving?
Yeah.
And this is an art. This is a language. We know this through physical movement. We know this through the language of pressure. We know this through the language of eroticism. We know this through so many things. How can I receive and give whenever I'm relating to my physical environment or other humans in my environment? I didn't have the ability to connect whatsoever. I was just being an extrovert, just connecting with everybody because I wanted to feel safe. So let me make sure everyone else feels good, and that gives me a better chance at safety. But in terms of connection, and then the world would come back to me and say, "Oh my gosh, Joss, we're so connected with you." I go, "Y'all feel connected. That's cool. Me,
but I'm not connected.
I'm alone
to
as hell. I'm alone as hell. I'm in
and
my
was
world."
there a space in time where that gave you solace, where that was like, okay, that works for me? And then it almost sounds like you're in this position where this person's deeply connecting with you. They're telling you that they see you, and you're like,
I go, me? Who's me? I don't exist.
Yeah.
you're talking to a ghost. And then I became the ghost. And that's a really scary position. One of my biggest fears is becoming a resentful, reclusive old man. That's my biggest fear. And in that moment, I took a huge leap towards that future, because I became that ghost. I became that old man at like 20 whatever years old. And I didn't want to take that path. And so I realized that I had to break open my egoic and emotional body in a way that my prefrontal cortex would not allow. And that's when I started to develop a relationship with the plant medicines and go, okay, let me get to the core of my emotional body and just see if there's anybody still there. And let me do that now before it's too late.
Stop experiencing myself up here and start experiencing myself here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I go, okay, character development time. What do I need to develop?
Fun.
The guy that's arrived, how does he need to develop his character? So I go two things. Number one, I said connection. Number two, I stopped being concerned with winning, and I started being concerned with winning well. And I think very few people as a whole, but specifically men, just don't win well. And I wanted to define what winning well was. And to me,
what is it?
To me, finding success and winning, which is a complete construct, like winning implies a start and a finish. There is no start, there is no finish. We play in an infinite game. To win well, in my experience of life, is to find a state of peace, to exist and connect in kindness and in a true empathetic state with other humans, and realize that your fundamental purpose on this earth is to play and to give. And so how can I be in my highest expression of playing and giving? And what does that look like? And I understand that if I have more of any one of my four resources, my time, my money, my energy, or my intention, if I can really leverage those things up, become hyper present, have more financial resources, have a lot of time, I'm able to amplify those core characteristics and ultimately win better. And so I went, okay, winning is having a lot of those four resources and existing and managing those resources in a state of kindness and empathy and humility. And so I go, okay, I'm not that guy. How do I become that guy? How do I learn how to connect? How do I learn how to win well? Build humility within myself. That's when I started my Spanish journey. And that's when I started my jiu-jitsu journey.
So why those two?
Character development, you can't just wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to be like this.
No, you got to actually develop.
You got to do some development, right? And the way that everyone develops differently, but I believe that development comes from direct action and stimulus coming back to change whatever it is that's happening inside. There's physical development, sure, lift some weights, get some muscle, there's a stimulus there, your body reacts to it. Then there's emotional and spiritual development, and you need those stimulus, and you can create that stimulus internally as well as externally. I realize that I'm a stubborn mother effer, and I'm not actually going to step out of the safety that I've created for myself. I need to throw myself into some crazy environment that my default reaction is going to be to develop the characteristics that I'm ultimately after. That for me meant existing and integrating within Spanish culture, within Latino culture, for that key element of connection. And then not secondarily, but additionally, going into jiu-jitsu and getting my ass handed to me for the past 2-3 years to develop the core characteristics of humility and empathy and kindness. Jiu-jitsu practitioners and martial artists they're killers.
They're phenomenal.
They're also the kindest people we've ever met.
Yeah.
We've interviewed some on this podcast. They're incredible human beings. So character development wise, I would say, what's the characteristic? Why do you want it? For me, I didn't want to end up a cancer cell. And what I mean by that is what a cancer cell in your body is a cell that thinks it's the only cell in the body. That's why you get cancer tumors. It grows and grows and grows. It's not connected with the body. This happens in the body. This happens in nature. This happens societally. This happens from a technological standpoint. This happens everywhere. Didn't want to become a cancer cell. How do I do that? Find connection. How do I find connection? I open my heart and I learn the skill of connection. I couldn't learn the skill of connection in English. I didn't have it in me. I was frankly too traumatized.
Yeah.
I did not know.
But also, if you're living in a space that predominantly doesn't speak English, right? If you, like I say, my dad and I say this to each other all the time. He thinks in Punjabi. I think in English, right? So the depth of a conversation that we can have is going to vary depending on how much time I give him to be able to think his thoughts, right? If I was to speak to him in Punjabi, he's going to be able to share his heart in a way bigger way, right?
And that's beautiful.
So even if you think about it from that lens, like actually having the language and being able to speak to people in such a true way where you can see them and they can see you, then you're also not the one person in the room who doesn't know how to connect with everybody else.
Of course. And developing that skill set to actually put yourself in that environment and go, okay, I'm going to find my way to be safe enough so I can give my dad the time and space to think his thoughts and learn to communicate his language. And I don't need to interject or interlude. Like that was, I mean, a big premise of this podcast actually was Thinkspace, meaning like, how do you not fill the space between question and response? Or someone gives a response, you wait. I mean, if you guys go back and you listen to the old episodes, like guests would give a response and I just wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds. And then they go, wait a minute, was my response not good enough? Like, how can I go deeper? You know, and if you leave a little space there, you go, how can I go deeper? And I wasn't doing that in life at all. And so I had to develop a new way of being and a new vocabulary in order to connect. And to this day, if we're talking about matters of the heart and someone's bilingual or just speaks Spanish, like I'm gonna be speaking Spanish because I can feel it way more and I'm not traumatized through that language.
Talk to me more about traumatized through that language.
I mean, if you say the word love, a lot of people
It's loaded.
You know, I love you. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Right? And so we have associations with symbols. And you can read Don Miguel's, 4 agreements. We place the meaning on symbols, letters, numbers, whatever it is. And then from there, we get emotionally attached to whatever those sounds or symbols are. And when someone, if my mother never said, I love you, or I'm here for you, or you're safe with me, or whatever it is, all of a sudden those words become hyper trigger words. And my emotional body shuts down when I hear them, or when I go to try to communicate them, there's an emotional breaker. So I was just running into this wall where I tried to communicate. I was trying to make the effort. I was trying to go. I was trying to listen. I was trying to say things. And my emotional breaker would just...
Yeah. No, and I totally get it. The coach in me is, is almost like, though, does it still have power over you? And is there an opportunity to somatically process that so that you can regain like the beauty in that language?
Of course. I mean, there is so much beauty in English. So that's a really good point. There's 2 ways to go about this. Number 1 is, which I went when my Virgo ass went, I was like, all this, like I'm about to go.
Bye, new language, baby.
I will literally learn a new language to not do this because I'm that stubborn.
Yeah.
So you can't go that way.
Because I love that you're looking for self-connection and they're like, yo, I'm going to go try to find it through an entirely different route, which I do believe you found some of that, right?
So much.
But I'm very interested to hear how this goes. Come on.
Okay. So I, women are like, yo, like, he's just like, he doesn't feel his emotions or whatever. And I was like, I understood that. And then I was like, cool, I'm literally going to go learn an entire new fucking language just to be able to emotionally connect with myself and the world around me. That's one way to do it. The second way to do it is to reclaim, is to rework through the trauma or whatever. Right? For me, I was going back to trying to reclaim these words and these experiences and these emotions and these settings and these textures and going back to them. And I would just shut off. I would shut off. And so I went, okay, well, that's not really working. And then I went and I built a bunch new neurological and emotional pathways through having deep emotional human experiences in Spanish with another person, with my community. And that started to open up neurologically my ability to go back to English and reconnect, go back to the Western world and reconnect and reclaim and be able to play with these things that were so deeply traumatizing.
Because now you had a blueprint for it. Now you had an experience of it, and you can start to trust it.
And because we've just walked that path maybe one time, you know what I mean? But even if it's in a different language, you go, wait a minute, I've showed someone my heart. I've been in genuine service. Okay, can I do that in English again? Or I've built community, I've built business in this area of the world. Well, can I go back to the one that traumatized me and do it there, right? And it's so much easier if you can just kind of beat the bushes down just a little bit. And anyone like that has trouble building those neurological connections, like find a way to find some safety, to go into some level of the jungle that is your psyche, and start to beat down and push back the vines, or if it's in your body, the fascial system, so that things can actually grow and you can build things again and get creative with the angles. So many people, it's not that they're dumb. It's not that they can't figure it out. It's not that they're incapable to try to solve this problem of, working through their traumas or loving somebody or building a business. Oh, why can't I build my business? It's not because you're dumb or incapable. It's not that. It's just that you are trying something. You are using a tool that is not meant for that job. Yeah,
you're in a state of insanity trying to like approach it the same way again and again and again. Let's just try a different way. One thing that's coming up for me is like, let's just use love as an example, right?
Let's just use love as an example. Let's just talk about love. Yeah, go ahead.
Like if you think about love is just a word, right? But the experience of love is universal. There's a reason why, like, a smile transcends all people, right? So think, for example, like in Punjabi, there's some words that encapsulate a moment or a feeling or a sense in a way I can't say that in English, right? But if I could figure out how to say it, I bet you somebody who speaks English, and if I could communicate it in their words, they would have already, like, they could understand the sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So I love that you found a way.
Yeah.
So you found a way, right? What was driving this? Because that's very intentional to be like, hey, because let's take it right back to you at that dinner. Somebody tells you they see you and you're a good man and you can't receive it, right? And it's almost like a part of me wants to ask, like, I think the fear, I don't know, because this is not my fear. This is what I hear about men's fear.
This is my fear. Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
But it's like, you listen to one too many podcasts, you have one too many friends they alienate themselves in this pursuit, right? And then that is all that they've created. But the pursuit might be beautiful, but the experience of it is empty. And what I'm hearing from you is like, I know you, and I know how smart you are, and I know how many beautiful mentors you have in your life, and I know how much you already knew this sitting at that table, that like you don't want to be the guy who gets his dreams and then has like no feelings. I knew you knew that.
Of course.
And so like then to experience that must be so challenging, because like that must be the one thing that you were trying not to do.
The one thing the one thing that you want is the one thing you're trying not to do, which is please God, make just anything to not feel.
Yeah.
Anything to not feel. And it's tough because that's the tool that you've used through your whole life. Is the not feeling tool.
The avoidance, the stuffing,
what doesn't matter, mute it. Shut it down. And that's why so many people gravitate towards the David Goggins types, the Kobe Bryant types, and those are beautiful tools to have in the tool shed at a certain point. It's not a modality for living. There's a massive misconception that we believe that muting and what I call hard capital D discipline is a modality for life. It is not. And the reason why it is not is because it closes the heart. Because it closes the heart, it puts you in the prefrontal cortex, which is where fear and anxiety live, and it puts you in a state of living completely disconnected from everything that we know to be true in terms of nature, in terms of God, in terms of the universe, in terms of family, in terms of your values. And so, like, please don't use that tool. That's not a modality for living. If you have a specific issue, if you have a specific pursuit, know when to pick it up and know when to put it down. I lived my life that way for 24 years of my life, for sure. And then I just looked at my goals and I said, I want a rich human experience.
Mm-hmm. So that means I have to feel the color of it. Can't be black and white anymore. And so when you are in that experience and you're willing to get fluid, you're willing to feel those first few times that you're feeling, I want to bet that you're more willing to feel the hard stuff and the bad stuff than you were to feel the good stuff. Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
So when you first start letting in that love, right, and you start expanding yourself, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
So, like, walk us through that experience. How did you know that you were starting to do it for real? For real?
I was on a date in Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first time in my life, I just sat across the table from a beautiful woman, and I needed to say nothing. I needed to do nothing. I was able to receive her presence. And I just sat there with this fat smile on my face, and I was like, oof. Mm-hmm. And then I started to find myself in different situations of life, business or otherwise, where I went, ooh, let me just receive this. Mm-hmm. You know, you walk into this situation right now, the connections and the reunions that I'm making, I go, yeah, give me more. Yeah,
let me be loud.
No, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. But you know what? I mean, that goes to, so you hit it right on the top, which is this. The receiving muscle is just a critical muscle. The truth of this life, or the truth of my human experience, is that my best future, my highest calling, my golden timeline has been one that I have received as opposed to have achieved. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to say that when you're bored and safe. Mm-hmm. When you're stressed and in survival mode, like, fuck off with that advice. And that's just the truth. So maybe you, ma'am or sir, listening to this, well, maybe it's not that you need to receive your future instead of achieve your future. It's like, maybe you should start playing with different states.
Yeah.
What if you started experimenting with different states and modalities of being, and then take these ideas that you reject or that you really cling to? Really great exercise. I really accept or want this idea. I really reject this thing. Take those two ideas, play with it when you're in a state of boredom, play with it when you're in a state of love, play with it when you're in an erotic state, play with it when you're in a professional state, when you're in a performative state. Take those ideas and it will reshape your mental construct of how to walk this human experience. And we do that. People do that when they go buy retreats and they go into these different containers. Like, that's what that whole thing's about. Let's take these ideas and play with them somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I was playing with a lot of different states, and I'm really now deeply working on my receiving muscles still. And I've gotten through it in so many areas of my life. One of the most challenging, I don't know when this is going to be released, but I just got finished a 26-day road trip with a female friend that I'm platonic with, and she was loving on me so hard. And that was really challenging for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so now I'm at a spot where, okay, can I receive deep platonic love? Now that I can receive deep romantic love, can I receive deep spiritual love? Not even close.
Talk to me about that. How do you know that?
Because it's numb. It's muted. It doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. So you haven't experienced it?
I haven't experienced it. I've experienced it. I've been in many holy places. I've had holy experiences.
No, let's talk about the platonic friendship. Let's use that as an example. You know, it's funny because literally this morning in the shower, I was thinking, like, I wonder if most people truly don't believe that you can be friends with guys or friends with girls and just truly love the shit out of them.
Of course.
I'm a living example of, like, some of my closest friends are men and I have no interest in them in a romantic way, but I love them to shreds, right? So
It's harder as a man, I feel like. It's harder as a man.
Yeah. Because when a girl doesn't want you, just no.
It's a no. It's a no.
Yeah.
But very rarely is like, especially if it's an attractive woman where you're just like, it's a no for me. I would rather explore depth in this one modality than these other modalities. And yeah, that is super, super, super rare. But boy, what a rich experience.
Yeah.
What a rich experience. And also, I believe that as humans, we should try to learn the language of love. And that has so many different dialects. And platonic male female is one of them. And like, it can be really touchy because we have all of this societal preconditioning. You know, in the same way, oh, if I'm with a woman, there's got to be something there, or well, it's going to happen over time, or whatever it is like this. That's just because we sexualize relationships. We sexualize the body. The body's not inherently sexual.
We sexualize love.
We sexualize love.
Yeah.
Like love has nothing to do with sex.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can be deeply in love with someone and be sexually intimate with them, but those two things are not connected inherently.
Exactly.
Right? Their source code is very, very different. But we're in this world where we have a ton of preconditioning where we go, nah, listen, like, they're male, they're female, whatever it is, like, there's going to be some sort of thing there and they're going to F it up. And it's like, well, what if you just continually chose love in that relationship? And what if you chose love in every relationship that you're in? Well, you'd probably really deepen your receiving muscle, and you would really deepen your ability to connect, and you would really deepen and dissolve the boundary and the philosophical idea that is duality. What I mean by that is like, we are under this fucking illusion that there's a difference between me and you. And that is just, in my belief system, that is absolutely not true. But every time that we choose fear, we choose scarcity, we choose to be alone. Every time that we don't choose love, we just enforce that. There's me and there's you, and you can't touch me, and you can't feel me, and you can't be close to me, and you can't ask me questions, and I don't want to go there with you, and please stop talking.
Yeah, because I feel like a structure that's helped the world function and work. Two things that came up for me when you were saying that. One is like the system of hierarchy. So if you like think of just being in the corporate world or being in business before, it was very like, I'm your leader and you listen to what I say, versus team, we're doing this together and we all work within the function of the circle to make it move.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
But I also want to take it back to if you choose love, I feel like you chose love by leaving and going to South America. But then life presented you with another opportunity to choose a deeper love for self. And so how has your experience of love for self started to deepen your relationship with the world around you?
Susu with the bangers. Just coming through with the bangers. I mean, this is
because I've witnessed that in you. I've witnessed you. You always fucked with yourself, but I witnessed you learn to like yourself.
Yeah. I mean, having an egoic relationship with yourself is a whole lot different than actually loving yourself. And an egoic, it's so funny. There's always physical manifestations of stuff. Like an egoic relationship with your body, like shows up as in like, oh, wow, that person's like hella fit, or that person's like super muscular or whatever. That's kind of an egoic version of self-love. You know, another version of self-love for me has been a softer self-love, a true acceptance of self-love, which has been this like, let me feel into the softness of my body. Let me feel into the softness of my body. Let me feel into how everything, one of the best exercises for me in terms of actually learning to love myself has been like going into nature without any electronics here in the Pacific Northwest, like find a patch of moss. Moss is my shit. I don't know why. Find a patch of moss and sit there, observe how the moss receives you, observe how the trees wave to you, observe how the sky seems to envelop you and put you under this blanket, and realize how every single thing in your physical surrounding, when you are in nature, regardless of how you feel about it or not, is trying to love you.
It's admitting to you.
It's going, ooh, thank you so much for being here. We have something for you.
Have you ever been to the beach and you're like walking along the shoreline, and as you're walking along the shoreline, it just starts to wave a little harder?
It goes hi.
You're like, hello.
It goes hi. And you're like, oh, you know, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, so for me, that example works. That practice works because I believe in nature as the highest technology. I believe in nature as the highest form of God. And so if I go there and I put myself next to something and I go, this is truth. What is truth telling me? I go, well, truth is telling me that I'm able and worthy to receive love. Okay, well, I might not believe myself, but I believe it. So let me believe that. And that starts to change my beliefs the same way where people go, like, if they're feeling down on themselves, like, go have a conversation with your mother or your father. Like, she'll tell you that she loves you, and you believe your mother as your highest source of truth. A lot of people say, why don't you just believe her then, dummy? And that'll start to break your worldview a little bit. And so little practices like that.
Well, it's almost a cultivation of faith as well,
It's a
right? Because
cultivation
you have to have faith and trust that there's something more. You know, like I was saying earlier, like if you are made up of the fabric of nature, you're made up of the fabric of God. How could you? So if I rip this, right? This exists and this exists. I'm still freaking worthy.
You're still there.
I'm just separate from what this is.
Of course. Physically.
Right?
Yeah, but what is physics? Come on, stop it.
But that takes a lot of consciousness. That also takes a lot of willingness. And then I think it's also your curious nature, right? Like as a seeker, you're somebody who's going to want to know and understand those things. So like when you're talking about like, okay, maybe the person on the other side of this is listening and they're like, yo, I'm in a hard space right now. And okay, I'll try your other states and like, how can I feel? And maybe the way I look at things changes when I feel different. But how can that person start to cultivate that? There's this, I think it's an autism saying. I don't know. Ready, willing, able. I think it's Autism BC or something.
I mean, hey,
I want their logo, their slogan. Okay, it's like, are you ready? Are you willing? Are you able? Readiness is, do I have the readiness? Can I do this? Right? Am I able? Is like, am I able to do this? Ready, willing, able. And willingness is like, am I willing to do what it takes? So when you're telling me that you're going to go learn Spanish, you're going to go and do jiu-jitsu, it's like, there's a willingness to go through the fire. There's a readiness, like, okay, now is the time. And there's an ability. So what would you tell that person who isn't necessarily in that trifecta?
No, totally. I mean, this very Joss answer here, but like I throw everything to the extremes and I go like, okay, well, let's establish like, is this the path or is this not the path or whatever? Or if you're not sure, does this move you closer? And then I go, okay, well, am I the type of person when presented with the way, I don't choose it? And I cannot.
Can we pause there? Double click on that.
I cannot live with myself if I am presented with the truth or the way, and I have independently or whatever come to a place where I went, love is the answer for an example. And then I don't choose it. And I go, I see the way, I'm not choosing it. I can't live with myself.
Will you become the elephant with the chain around it who doesn't know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's a beautiful metaphor. And so I go, I don't worry about what I've achieved or what I haven't achieved or the state I'm in or my ability to whatever. I don't know. I just worry about, am I on the freaking path? And am I saying yes? Am I open? Can I take this next step? So if someone goes to me and says, hey, Joss, you have to become connected. Do you believe in connectedness? Yes, I do. But here's the thing, good sir. I'm scared and I think the world is trying to attack me. And they go, okay, well, do you believe in love as a truth? And I go, yes. Then I am presented with no option other than to take the path. If I take the path, I can look at myself in the mirror and I can go, you're not a liar. Do you know what I mean? And I grant myself the ability to live with myself for another day. Because of the actions that I have taken. And my life is centered around that. Can I live with the actions that I have taken and the subsequent character it's created as a result of those actions? And if I can do that, then I am at peace with myself and I can find a state of equanimity. And that is what I'm after in this lifetime, to find that state of equanimity within myself and then to externally express joy and love and laughter and play. And that is the thesis of who I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, as you come to that conclusion and as you move that way and you reflect on all the versions of you who did not move that way, how did you find peace within yourself when you knew better and didn't do better?
I was at war. That's the thing about everyone hits their rock bottom at a different time. You'll just keep doing that. You're just going to keep going, and you're going to decide when your rock bottom is. If you want to continue to say no and to do the things that you know that you shouldn't, or to eat the foods that you know that you shouldn't, or to say the words that are not based in truth, or to whatever it is, cheat on your husband, cheat on your wife, whatever. If you want to, you're just going to continue to create that reality, which is a hell reality. And then at some point, life will put you on your knees and you will have no choice. It will say, surrender to what is true or die. I choose to put myself in that exact situation as the extremist that I am way before.
Yeah.
So when I have a learning, when I have a lesson, when I have a decision to make, I try to put myself right there and I go, Josh, you can't live with yourself if you don't choose this thing or tell this thing to this person or move to Nicaragua or start training jiu-jitsu or start this next business because you've seen it as truth. So submit to the truth that you've seen or die.
So how do you, as you submit to that truth or die, I get it.
Yeah, of course,
Trust me, I get it. But it takes time to get there. It's like, even like using food as an example is great, right? Everyone has a relationship with food. It's like eating the thing that you know gives you a tummy ache, but you just like the way that it tastes.
Yeah.
And eventually you're like, I don't want this. I'm not willing to do the tummy ache anymore, right? But it's just like, how long does it take you to get there?
Listen, I mean, one of my brothers and best friends said to me one time, Joss, if you have to go to hell, just go quickly.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Just go quickly. Don't drag your feet. Go. You think you need to go there? Why don't you go? In fact, sprint there, spend as much time as you possibly need, and then close that door and never go back. And so that's some advice that I've really taken. I've really taken that. Yeah. And I've put myself in hellish situation after hellish situation, sat in the inferno that is food addiction or sex addiction or money addiction or power addiction, really sat in that cold bath or in that sauna and gone, do I want this for my life? Take it to the extreme. Ask yourself if you want it. Oh, you can't do that within your own mind? Good. Go physically take yourself there. However, you can put yourself in the energetic extremes of that thing. Yeah. Go sit in it and then go, is this what you want for your life?
Yeah. And are you willing to become what you need to be in order to not allow that to, because I think, like, going back to the David Goggins thing and the capital D discipline, I think it's a lot more about what do I have to give up?
Of course.
Then what do I gain?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right? Oh, I have to give up like scrolling on my phone for 2 hours and just completely like going into nothing land?
Yeah, or from a relationship standpoint, I have to give up my husband, I have to give up my girlfriend. Oh my God. First off, what is on the other side of that? Do you know what I mean? I have to give up my habits. I have to give up the society that I've known. It's like, hey, listen, you gotta, James Blake has a beautiful song called I Need a Forest Fire. And I was actually just driving through some forest fires very recently. And I was like, the beauty. Listen, I've seen the Oregon coast. I've seen Tahoe, Cali, Zion National Park, Death Valley. I've seen all these crazy, beautiful, oh my gosh. I was just in the Amazon rainforest. I was just in the Caribbean doing some scuba diving. I've seen some beautiful stuff. I've been around. The most emotionally impactful moment that I've had in nature over the past few years was just about a week ago when I was in the middle of a forest fire, essentially, in Lassen Natural Park in California, and I just saw mountains on mountains of burned forest. And like the beauty of like, let's take everything above ground and let's because fire is a ceremony, and let's lovingly release it. because those root systems are still there. All of that carbon that goes down, that replenishes everything, comes up. And so for me, it's like, ooh, how can I do that in my life with these places that I'm trying to go to? Where and how?
How can I dance with change?
How can I dance with the fire? Mm-hmm. And if I go, oh, I don't like the fire because it's like really hot. Okay, cool. Choose something else.
Yeah.
But for me, being that I'm the most stubborn person in the world, I need the fire. Mm-hmm. I'm going to the Temazcal in Mexico. I'm going into the sweat lodge. I'm going into all this. I'm like, throw me an ayahuasca ceremony or whatever, because my prefrontal cortex is so thick because I can do anything, and I can create anything in this material world. But the feeling world and the spiritual world, okay, we can't use the prefrontal cortex there. So let's put ourselves in a position where we literally cannot use that tool at all, which is a lot of what a lot of these plant medicine journeys are about.
Yeah, I can't think my way through this.
Can't think your way through it, man. The only way out is through.
Yeah.
The only way out is through. You can't jump over it. You can't dig yourself through. You can't dig yourself under. You have to go through that thing. And that's so beautiful. And like, for so many people that are trying to do this thing, it's like, stop being strategic about it. How about, what if you just put your strategy down for a second?
Yeah.
I see you with those tactics. That's a hell of a business plan or whatever. What's the field like? How much distortion are you sitting in? How can you actually just, all that fog that you're trying to just find a way to put into a box and then move to the side, you can't put that fog in a box. What if you just walked through it, right? How do you let all of that go? And in this Western world, we teach business, we teach capitalism, and that is strategy. It is tactics, and that's fine. It gets you to a high level, but just of a low game. So great. You're getting to a really high level of a low level game. It's a certain spiritual realm. That's okay. Go get your money, get the millions, get the billions, do your thing. Let's get you rich so we can focus on the next realm, the next game. And then in the next game, you can stop trying to put fog in a box and move it to the side.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah. I think so many people are afraid of feeling it because they're afraid of what it will reveal. And in the revelation, they might not want that strategy. They might not want what's on the other side of that. And that is a game that I don't think, like, if you're willing to play it, like, you will be rewarded in the sense that you will get to the next unlock. It's like going to a bedroom and you didn't know that there was another door in there, and then you didn't know there was another door behind that door, right? Like, you have to open the first door to find the next door. But it's like, are you brave enough and courageous enough to do that?
Okay, like, first off, let's just set the parameters here. No one says you have to find divine truth. No one says you have to walk through that door. No one says you have to cross. No one says you have to cross that crevasse. It's fine. You don't have to. Like, whatever this whole life experience thing is choose your own adventure.
Yes.
Every time you get a stimulus and input, you're choosing your own adventure. Okay, great. That's why it's like, figure out what your goal is. Figure out what you want. If you are not looking for baseline truth, core truth, source code truth, a lot of this stuff you just don't have to think about. If you want to exist in the matrix, and if you want to see, and I say this word with like no disrespect, like, if you want to exist as an NPC, a non-player character, if you want to run a script, if you just want your responses to be preconditioned, and you're okay with the preconditioning that this world has given you to keep you safe, by the way, then that's beautiful. Accept it, live it, choose it. The tension comes when you are saying, or you want to choose something different, and you're not taking the actions. If you are not taking the actions to actually get to whatever life or baseline truth that you want, that's an incongruency in your life. You're out of integrity. Okay, cool. Are you down with living out of integrity? No. Okay, cool. Then at that point, it just comes again to the same thing. It's like, I'm either in integrity or I'm dead.
Yeah.
Because I've already died.
And I love that you bring it so extreme, because it is extreme.
It is extreme.
Yeah. I think when we try to minimize it, it's just to make you feel better.
Of course.
But it is that extreme.
It's so extreme. And someone will come to you. You will have these moments in your life where people will come to you and they'll go, hey, Sue, are you willing to face the thing? And you have these sometimes predetermined markers or checkpoints where people just seem to drop in your life at the right time. And you'll know You'll know when you're at that juncture. And maybe, homie, it's going to be your whole life where you're going to say no. And like low key, maybe you're just not meant to transcend this in your life.
Exactly.
And that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Find peace that in your cosmic ass journey, this little pocket ain't for you to overcome this multi-generational thing. And that's okay. Be happy. Find peace. Live this thing through. We're here for a short time. Don't live this 80, 100 years in tension. That's silly. Just accept that it's not for you. And if you can accept that it's not for you, then it truly is not for you.
Yes.
If you go, it's not for me, and then you sit there and you go,
no, but it's kind of for me. Yeah.
I want to know love. I want to know success. I want to know enlightenment. I want to know. Well, then maybe it is for you. Or maybe you're just getting closer to the life in which you do transcend those things. And so keep it a buck with yourself. Is it for you or is it not for you? Maybe it's just not.
You know what I love about this conversation is there's so many versions of me that could have come to this conversation that would have understood it at a level very different every single time. You know what I mean? So I really recommend this, like, for people to listen to this again.
Of course.
Because it's one of those things that, like, it's a spiral, right? Consciousness gets deeper with time, and what you look at, you start to see it differently over time. And everything that you just said, right, is a big conversation with self. It's a big conversation with nature, God, life, whatever brought you here. And that is a dialogue that you have to refine over time, right? Or even I say you have to, because it's not a choice for me. It is an isness.
You say isness?
Yeah.
It is an isness.
It's an isness. It's
Bar.
a way of being.
That's a bar. Yeah. It is an isness.
I love that you're also sweating right now, because it is so hot.
It's hot as hell up in here. Anyways, yeah.
So, okay, as we round this out, you took the leap. You started to feel.
Yep.
You challenged yourself and you did different things.
Yep.
What does that look like now?
Oh, really hard question. Really, really hard question, because I look at so much of what's presented in front of me and I go, I don't know if that's for me, you know. And the world still, as I continue to traverse this life, so many people just keep coming back to me and going, hey, this is for you. This is for you. Opportunities start. I mean, what happens is when you get past a certain point with this stuff, opportunities just come left, right, and center. And it's like, never take the first opportunity that comes, you know. Never even take the second, really. I always say to people, like, hey, the first big check someone writes you, don't take it, right? Because they're for sure undervaluing you for it. And like, for me, I'm just trying to sit in the state that I am in for as long as I can.
And what is that state?
Well, listen, when you start out, you're like, oh, you know, this life is about material stuff, you know, and you go after material stuff. And then at a certain point you go, oh, it's about experiential stuff. It's, you know, we're only here for a certain amount of time. Let's like run up the experiences and stuff like that. And then you realize that like experiences are just a moment. And yeah, they make up a fabric of your being. But like what I'm truly after at this point is just a continued state. I want a state of curiosity, a state of peace, a state of play. And so for me, how that manifests right now in my life is, you know, I'm continuing to, you know, build this financial business as large as it wants to grow. I'm going to continue to follow my line of inquiry into self-love, follow my line of inquiry into building my receiving muscle, following my line of inquiry into the natural world. Like, I'm so curious about the natural world, following my line of inquiry into truly playing the game of business. And as long as I have lines of inquiry, I'm going to follow them. That is for me. Now, there's a piece of that that's all selfish stuff. There's another piece of that that goes, I would also add line of inquiry into like the physical body and movement. There's a whole other side of that that's like, I want to bring as many people as humanly possible to follow their lines of inquiry to their highest selves, like whatever their golden timeline is. There's the right questions for everybody. Everyone has their own right questions. And if I rock with someone, I roll up to someone, I go, damn, bro, you are asking yourself the right questions. I am in full service to you. And so my life is, you know how, you know, people might know like venture capitalists and stuff like that. Okay, they find businesses, they put money into those businesses. Maybe they got on the board of those businesses, whatever like that. They try to further those businesses to make money. I'm trying to be like a human venture capitalist. I'm trying to be a human investor. And what I mean by that is like, oh, hey, listen, I really see you asking all the right questions. I really see you following your golden line of inquiry. How can I support that with time, energy, attention, or money, so I can fully embody and empower you to go and play on the biggest level possible for whatever you've defined, and then be a leader for everybody else? Because in this time, in our like universal consciousness, we need fucking leaders. You know what I mean? We need leaders that have done the work. We need leaders that are able to emanate from a place of truth and not from a place of ego. And so I'm in full dedication to that. And however I can be in service of that, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. And then I'm just going to play as much as humanly possible with my body, my soul, my mind, my heart. And if you're down to play, like, let's go. We're doing some silly goose shit over here. So like, come rock with me.
Yeah.
So that's how it shows up now. And yeah, I'm still going to be building certain businesses and being in certain places and stuff like that. All of that's not important, right?
There's this sense, you say line of inquiry. I love the way that you say that. But there's this sense of the lines are also access points to your aliveness. And I feel like you radiate an aliveness right now that, and I say this as somebody who deeply loves you, like I've never seen you have before.
Thank you, love. I
you know,
appreciate
because
you.
it's true. You're not trying to put on this aliveness. It's true aliveness within you.
Of course. Like my best, thank you so much for saying that. My best reality is a reality where we all just get to run around and be like 10-year-old children. You know, and that's my highest desire in a relationship too. Like, I'm looking for someone who's down to be a child with me for the rest of their life. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's go make each other more of ourselves and find more inquiry and more play and more love and more light. And so it's like when you guys hit me up, like, hey, you know, we want to transition the podcast over. We want Summan to step into the seat. We want to take this community that we've built and reactivate it and regrow. I'm like, that sounds like play to me. I get to play with y'all. Hell yeah. And like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like that's it. People go, oh, let's start this business. Let's go do this thing. Like, does that sound like the highest version of play that I could imagine? It does.
Yeah.
Say less.
Yeah.
I just want to build you with my homies. It's hella fun.
It is very fun. And also when it doesn't sound like that and when it doesn't feel like that, then that's how you know it's a no.
That's how you know it's a no. And if that doesn't make sense to people, I just want people to think like, hey, what is the texture of this thing? What does it feel like?
Yeah.
If I could give a taste to it, if I could give a scent to it, if I could give an actual physical structure to it, what would this opportunity or this person or this experience or this thing that I'm buying or this place that I'm going, what's the texture of it? And if your childlike self doesn't want to play with that texture, it's not for you. Right. And you get extra bonus points in this little game is if your childlike body wants to go in, play with it, and then build with it. If you meet a person where you go, oh, I like your texture, you know, or someone comes to you with a business idea and you go, oh, that sounds like fun. What if we layered this on top of it? And I can share this on this podcast right now because I know that's truth, because I can look at something like Lego and go like, Lego is universally correct. Why? Because someone picks up a piece and goes, ooh, I like that. And then they go, ooh, what can I do with that?
Yeah. What can I make? What can I build? What can I create?
I could put that with that. And then I can go, ooh, I could go share that over there. And like, that's how you know it's truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you listen to a podcast and you go, this is some good shit, like you are right now. And you go, I have to share this with whoever. Yeah. So if you're in it, and what are you doing? You're giving. So you see something, you like the texture, you want to build with it, and then you want to give it away. Yeah. That's how I want to build my next business. So excited about this. Let's boom, 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 boom. You know, so.
I love this for you. Yeah. We had a few projects come across our desk, and I was telling Kev, I was like, it just doesn't make me excited. It doesn't make me excited. And I just no. And then you find the one that you're like, ooh, I want to play with this. I want to bring this person into this. I want to bring this person into this. And you're just like, this is where I'm meant to be.
Of course.
Yeah. Because life will always give you that feedback.
If you're listening.
Yeah. If you're listening.
If you're listening, and if you're not in a state of survival, right? So I mean, so many people talk. I mean, we have the money conversation all day long with so many people, and it's just like, hey, listen, like I see this pattern of survival showing up in these 3 ways or whatever. It's like we're not going to be able to even hear truth if we can't get past this heavy metal rock that is survival, you know. And same thing with how we play with businesses and business ideas. And if really, when someone comes to you with something, think to yourself, is this Lego? Is this Lego for
That's
me?
a great takeaway.
Yeah.
Is this Lego? So Joss, is there anything that you want to say to the community or that you didn't feel like you got a chance to say today before we wrap up?
Of course. I mean, a huge part of my message right now is we're moving to uncharted territory in our world. We've obviously never been here before, and we're at a certain stage of the power law that is global growth. And what I mean by that is that we are technologically, geopolitically, biochemically at a point now where you have to make the right decisions as a human with a heart and a soul, or else you're going to get left behind. And so to our earlier conversation, I was like, well, do I follow my heart or do I not follow? I was like, well, if you don't very strongly follow it, you know, there's just such a bifurcation, such a splitting of like the top 20%, the top 10%, and the bottom 80 or 90, where at a point, if you're in the bottom 80 or 90 of any area, but let's just use the medium of talking about using your resource of attention. So much of us are on our phones, or we're giving our attention to people that don't serve us. It's like, because on a global scale, we have experienced so much of a splitting. I beg you, I implore you to take radical ownership over whatever the hell it is that you want, because if you don't take radical ownership over it now, you will not have the opportunity later because of how we are naturally, this is not manufactured, naturally growing. And so what does that mean, Joss? How does that manifest itself? It's like, if you want to choose a business, or you want to choose a person, or you want to choose love, or you want to choose your own attention, or you want to choose your own sovereignty, it's just going to get harder and harder and harder and harder for you to do that. So please take ownership of it now. How that can look like is auditing who you follow, auditing what you do, auditing your thoughts. I don't know anything that gets worse as a result of you bringing consciousness to it.
Okay, I said last question, but I think just for the audience, I feel like the skill required there is discernment. So how do you build that skill of discernment?
Discernment comes after somatic awareness. So you have to ask yourself, there's 2 ways you can use discernment. You can use it with your mind, with your prefrontal cortex, or you can use it with your body. Some people are going to be really easy to use. Some people are going to use it very easily with their minds. Others are going to be with their body. Most people is better with their body. So yes, use the skill of discernment. What does that mean? You can bring information in, bring a stimulus in, and go, what do I think about this?
It goes right back to what you were saying with playing with the states.
Playing with the states. What do I think about this? Think about this state, that state, that state. And if you want to take the thinking thing further, write it down. That's why I write. That's the purpose of me writing. Write it down, because writing is refined thinking, and you can strategically work through your ability to discern much better when you write things down and you go through it with the mind. If that's not for you, and if you're trying to get on some more somatic, on some more body, well, then just get to a state of neutrality. Build your discernment by finding a state of neutrality and then introducing the thought. And your body will tell you, you feel a tightness here, or shortness of breath here, or whatever it is. Every emotion that comes up, every bodily reaction is there to serve you. It is 100% there to serve you. If you get an emotion, it is trying to tell you something, please listen to it. If you have an anxiety, if you have a fear, if you have a thing that you want to start, if you have a curiosity, each one of these things that come up in our internal experience, which again, you guys have heard me say this, 100% of your human experience happens inside of you. If something comes up, it's there to serve you. Use your discernment and go, yes, now, or no, not right now. The key part to that, like I said, discernment, safety, and then bringing awareness. I don't know anything that gets worse over any period of time that matters that when you bring consciousness to it. If you can bring consciousness to something, you can use your discernment. If you use your discernment, you're a sovereign and empowered individual. And if you're not that, you are nothing, right? And in one ways, that's the worst outcome. In the other ways, that's the best outcome.
Because now there's awareness of it.
Because now there's the awareness of it too, right? And you can be that sovereign individual and find your own sovereignty. And that's beautiful. And you can become a digital nomad. You can start the business. You ask the person out or whatever it is. And then you can also, we have to go to individuality first. We can become the sovereign individual, and then we can choose to dissolve. If we are forced to dissolve, what I mean by dissolve, I mean dissolve the barrier between you and I, dissolve the barrier between the material thing that you have or don't have, dissolve the barrier between you having the business and not having the business, dissolve the barrier, dissolve the illusion of duality. We have to become the sovereign person first, which means getting out of our programmatic thinking, finding sovereignty. Once we have sovereignty, we create meaning, we create choice. What we do with that is up to you. And as long as you are a sovereign individual and you have that choice and that discernment, I am so happy for you and bless you for whatever it is that you choose. That judgment's not mine. But seeing people in programmatic thought, and programmatic emotional reactions being that, as we call NPC, that really, really does hurt me, right? Because I believe in the human spirit and the expression of the human spirit. So all I want for anyone listening to this is to find that level of sovereignty. And if you want to choose dissolving, if you want to choose programmatic thinking, if you want to choose your own programming, beautiful. Bless you. You're listening to this podcast right now. You're choosing this programming. Choose your programming well.
Yeah. Facts. Where can people find you online, Mr.?
Absolutely. I mean,
Mr. Coconut Man on Instagram.
Oh my God. So many things. So many things. First and foremost, there's a link in the bio. I don't know what it's going to be by the time that you're listening to it, but whatever the link is, go there. Right now, it's to my Substack. I write. I'm really, really passionate about the writing. But probably by the time you're listening to this link in bio will be to some crazy experience or product. We have a couple physical products on the way out. I don't know about this that I'm really passionate about. Go check those out. Or it may be, and this is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. The link in my bio that I want whoever's listening to this to go to might be to a Nicaragua 2026 coconut climbing
I thought this was
tree
a joke.
Academy. This is real.
This is so cool.
This is real.
Yeah.
If you want to go connect with where you get your food, how your body is moving physically, and then get into the Spanish culture and learn how to climb a coconut, listen, man, we might do 15, we might do 20 people. I don't know, but we got a lot of interest. So,
I love that.
I guess, CCTA level 10 certified coconut climbing coach. I need that in the bio somewhere.
You're amazing. Thanks so much for coming. Like, I seriously love and appreciate this, and I couldn't have done this without having you be our first guest.
Of course, no, beautiful, and I'm so happy for the team. It's been so beautiful to see you guys grow into the organism, to the energy that y'all are, and it's been so great for me to like look back and see online and be like, hell yeah, they got that contract, hell yeah, they're doing this, hell yeah, they're doing that, hell yeah, they're doing that. And that's just been a really beautiful process for me because I've been able to witness it with some childlike wonder. And then also for this to come back alive, Ooh, podcasting is so important. Ooh, long form conversations are so important. Ooh, the curiosity that you have is so, so, so important to get to the crux of things, to get to the truth of things, and then bring that spiritual gangster energy to it as well. Is just like, that's what's up. You know what I mean? And that is what the people need. It's the people do not need more self-help. They do not need all this type of stuff. They need the jokes, the playfulness. They need the texture. And so to anyone listening, is like, yes, sure, listen to the pod, choose Sue as a leader, of course, but like the reason why I think you should do that is because there's a texture to the woman and there's a texture to you, and that texture is like beautiful in the sensual soup that is our world and like is really worth consuming. And so I hope that people use that discernment wisely to choose their own golden timeline and listen to the Thinkspace podcast. We're back, baby.
We're back, baby.
Ha 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 ha.